Did you know that the average global IQ varies significantly, with some countries averaging as low as 59? Let's peel back the layers on this intriguing topic. IQ tests are designed to measure a variety of cognitive abilities, including reasoning, problem-solving, and understanding complex ideas. But why pay attention to these scores? They often reflect broader socioeconomic conditions. Education quality, nutritional access, and healthcare availability are just a few aspects that can profoundly impact IQ levels. Now let's dive into which countries are on this surprising list. Starting our countdown at number 10 is Nepal. Nepal ranks at the bottom of the list with an average IQ score of 42.99. Despite its rich cultural heritage and stunning landscapes, Nepal faces significant challenges in providing adequate education and healthcare to its population, particularly in remote rural areas. Limited access to quality education, poverty, and nutritional deficiencies contributing factors to the lower IQ scores observed in Nepal. Economically, Nepal has been riding a bit of a roller coaster, booming one decade and facing steep challenges the next. It's akin to trying to assemble a complex piece of furniture without any instructions, a humorous yet frustrating task. This economic instability often mirrors the fluctuations in educational quality and resources, which directly impacts the intellectual development of its citizens. Socially, issues like access to education and healthcare play significant roles. In some regions, attending school is as challenging as finding a needle in a haystack. While Nepal has challenges, it's not alone. Let's see who's next. Next up at number 9, we have Liberia, Sierra Leone. Liberia and Sierra Leone, located in West Africa, share the second lowest average IQ score of 45.07. These countries have endured years of civil unrest, poverty, and inadequate infrastructure, which have undoubtedly impacted education and the overall development of their populations. Firstly, consider the educational infrastructure, which in country Y has faced numerous challenges. Limited access to quality education and resources can significantly impact intellectual development. Then there's the political climate. Frequent changes in governance can disrupt not just the economy, but also the educational policies crucial for nurturing young minds. But let's also talk environment. In many parts of Liberia, Sierra Leone, daily survival takes precedence over abstract thought and academic pursuit. When basic needs are a constant concern, intellectual development might understandably take a back seat. Conflict-induced trauma, lack of access to education, and healthcare disparities are significant contributors to the low IQ scores observed in these nations. As we see, many factors twist and turn the fate of a nation's intellectual outcomes. Who's at number 8? Moving on to number 8, welcome Guatemala. Nestled within a complex tapestry of history and tradition, Guatemala presents an intriguing case of cognitive development influenced by its past. The average IQ here hovers around the lower end of the global spectrum, a figure that sparks more curiosity than concern. Let's delve into why this might be the case. Guatemala, a Central American country, ranks 4th on the list with an average IQ of 47.72. Despite efforts to improve education and healthcare systems, Guatemala continues to grapple with high levels of poverty, inequality, and social exclusion, particularly among indigenous communities. Limited access to quality education and socioeconomic disparities plays a role in the lower IQ scores recorded in Guatemala. However, the winds of change are blowing. Recent years have seen significant governmental efforts to overhaul the education system. New schools are being built, teachers are receiving better training and salaries, and there's a growing emphasis on STEM fields, yet challenges remain, such as educational access in rural areas and the quality of education. As we ponder these facts, it's clear that intelligence is deeply intertwined with a country's history and its current policies. The journey through these diverse landscapes of intellect continues. Approaching the middle of our list, we find Cape Verde, Gambia, and Nicaragua. Let's start with Cape Verde, ranks 5th on the list with an average IQ score of 52.5. While Cape Verde has made significant strides in improving education and healthcare in recent years, challenges such as unemployment, poverty, and emigration persist. Socioeconomic factors and historical influences contributed to the relatively lower IQ scores observed in Cape Verde. Moving on to country. The Gambia ranks 6th with an average IQ score of 52.68. Despite efforts to improve education and healthcare, The Gambia faces challenges such as high poverty rates, limited access to quality education, and inadequate infrastructure. These factors contribute to the lower IQ scores observed in the country. Lastly, we have country Nicaragua ranked 7th with an average IQ score of 52.69. Despite recent economic growth and improvements in education, Nicaragua continues to face challenges such as poverty, inequality, and political instability. Limited access to quality education and socioeconomic disparities contributed to the lower IQ scores recorded in Nicaragua. As we move closer to the lowest of the lows, the plot thickens. Each country's story is a complex blend of socioeconomic factors, not just a number on a page. As we delve deeper, remember, these numbers are not just statistics. They represent real challenges and real people, each with their own tale of adversity and hope. Almost at the bottom, here are countries Guinea, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Sierra Leone. Country Guinea ranks 8th on the list with an average IQ score of 53.48. Despite efforts to improve education and healthcare, Guinea faces challenges such as poverty, political instability, and inadequate infrastructure. Socioeconomic factors and historical influences may contribute to the lower IQ scores observed in Guinea. There's a silver lining as recent initiatives show promise. The government has launched a program aimed at enhancing teacher training and improving educational infrastructure. This could be a game changer in uplifting the intellectual landscape of the nation. Moving on to country tied for 9th place are Ivory Coast and Ghana, both West African nations with an average IQ score of 58.16. Despite their relatively higher IQ scores compared to other countries on the list, Ivory Coast and Ghana still face challenges such as poverty, inequality, and political instability, which impact access to quality education and overall development. But here's a spark of hope. International aid organizations have stepped in, focusing on educational programs and youth empowerment projects. These efforts are designed to stabilize the learning environment and hopefully raise the intellectual bar for future generations. Lastly, we have Sierra Leone. This tiny African nation, Sierra Leone, is located on the west coast of the continent, on the west side of the country. Throughout this nation's history, we have experienced various upheavals and have been occupied by Great Britain for an extended period until 1961. Having an average IQ of 45.07, Sierra Leone ranks as the 198th lowest IQ nation in the world. The first university built in a Western style was built in Sierra Leone, and due to that country's long colonial history, English is widely spoken there. While this country has many natural resources like gold and diamonds, and is heavily dependent on agricultural production, it relies heavily on manual labor because of the abundance of natural resources. And the country with the lowest average IQ is South Sudan. A high average IQ for South Sudan, where the average IQ is 58.61, ranks 184th of all the countries in the world based on average IQ. Health deficiencies, poor education, and nutritional deficiencies are likely to contribute to South Sudan's low average intelligence quotient, along with war-related stressors such as displacements and the hunger that comes with displacements. Although national and international organizations have been making an effort to improve access to essential services, including infrastructure for public health services, the availability of these services still needs to be improved in many parts of the country. Now let's take a moment to reflect on what we've discovered today. As we journeyed through the list of 10 countries, we explored more than just numbers. Each score, each ranking has a story behind it, deeply intertwined with cultural, educational, and socio-economic context. From country X at number 10 to the country with the lowest IQ score, we've seen a spectrum of global intelligence assessments. But let's remember, IQ is a multifaceted concept. It's influenced by a myriad of factors, including access to education, healthcare, and even the stability of a country's environment. It's crucial to look beyond the cold statistics and see the people and their potential behind these figures. Challenges in education and social structures are opportunities. Opportunities for development, for aid, for policy change, and most importantly, for empowerment. So as we conclude, let us not just take these rankings at face value. Remember, every country has the potential for growth. It's about more than just numbers. It's about real change and real people. Before we wrap up, consider this. Today's exploration into global IQ levels is just the tip of the iceberg. Understanding the complexities of cognitive development across different regions is crucial. If this topic has piqued your interest, delve deeper into the world of global education. Consider supporting organizations that work tirelessly to enhance educational frameworks worldwide. Your involvement can make a significant difference. Thank you for joining this enlightening journey. Until next time, keep questioning and keep learning.